Starbucks Smith, and so glad you joined today because we've got something very special for you. Today we're going to go through a full body range of motion routine from ankles, knees, hips, spine, shoulders, everything, even your neck. So the idea is to give you motion through every joint and every muscle that we can, and it's going to be fast. It's only going to be around 10 minutes or so. And like I said, we're going to hit every part with some very key exercises that are designed to open up each joint and change your posture, change your balance, change your energy, and have you feeling good by the end of it. So here we go. All you need is a block or a pillow of some sort, just in case that your knees are going to be uncomfortable in one exercise, but we'll get to that in a second. So here we go. We're going to do some foot circles and a little range of motion for the ankles. So Teresa, my wife, is going to grab underneath her left knee and she's going to straighten out her right leg. So your right heel is going to be on the floor, your right leg is straight, your left knee bent towards your chest. Grab underneath your knee, relax your shoulders, and you're going to circle your left foot one direction, big circles. And make sure you remember which direction you're going because we're going to shift it up here in a minute. Now it's important that you focus on the full range of motion here because you want that big circle best you can get. We want the whole ankle joint working and moving. And we want all those muscles doing their job. We're hitting the arches of your feet. We're hitting the plantar flexors, the dorsiflexors. Those are the muscles that point your flex and point your foot and flex your foot. We're hitting the inside muscles, the outside muscles. This is a great exercise anytime you have any kind of foot ailment or just to strengthen the muscles of your feet. But we're also using this exercise to connect the feet to the knee, to the hip, and making all those muscles and joints talk to one another again. It's easy to lose that connection when we fall out of balance. Okay, switch directions. Big circles the other way. And if you're doing this at home and you're wondering how many should I do, I would do about 20 each direction. And then on the final one, we're going to pull it back and point it back and forth. Make sure that your heel, your left heel, is level with your left knee. You don't want that heel dropping all the way down towards the ground. You want it up in the air. That means your quad is engaging, your thigh muscles are engaging and working, and that's what's creating that connection between your ankle, your knee, and your hip. So big circles, and let me give you a fair warning here. It's going to start to burn a little bit. The muscles in your top of your shin, your ankle, they're going to start to work because they haven't opened up and they haven't worked this way in a long time or maybe ever in this fashion. So they're going to burn, they're going to talk to you. And that's totally normal and good. That means you're strengthening them. Okay, now you're going to pull your foot back and point it. Back and forth, nice and slowly. You don't want it fast. This isn't a race. You want it slowly, surely, and you want to make sure that you get that full range of motion. So really pull your foot back, really point it back and forth. We're just going to do a couple more here. That's awesome. As I said, this one is the tough one. It's deceptively difficult when you're doing these exercises, this particular exercise, because this will really burn. You'll be very surprised at how difficult it is. Okay, let's switch legs. So you're going to put your left leg on the ground, heel down, left leg straight, and you want that left foot pointing straight up towards the ceiling. Grab underneath your right knee and big circles with that right foot. Remember to keep your right heel in line with your right knee. Relax your shoulders down. Don't let your upper body or shoulders shrug. Just relax your shoulders, relax your upper body. Big circles one direction. Again, this is taking your foot through a range of motion and function and trying to hit all the muscles around your ankle and your foot, including the arch of your foot. This is a great exercise if you have bunions, if you have any kind of ankle instability, if you have hammer toes or anything where the symptom itself is keeping your foot from a range of motion, but also these symptoms are often caused by misalignment in the feet. So this is a good way to reconnect the muscles in your foot so that we rebalance the foot muscles and take the pressure off these areas that have been hurting you. Okay, other direction, big circles, same thing. You might also find that one side is easier to do than the other side, and that's indicative of imbalance. And that means that the side that's more difficult to turn or gets tired faster usually indicates that that's the side you're standing on more. So in other words, your weight distribution between your right hip and left hip and your right foot and left foot is not equal. And these exercises and this sequence that I'm going to give you right now is going to help bring that back to balance and make them more equal. Okay, now you're going to pull it back and point it nice and slowly. You're going to go back and forth, let it burn. It's good. It's like a good muscle burn that's good for you. I know it doesn't feel that great all the time, but it's important you get that because that means the muscles are really doing their job. As you pull it back, then point it, really point those toes, flex those toes, point it back and forth, and make sure your lower leg isn't moving. Don't let it bob up and down. The only thing moving here is your foot. Okay, great. Okay, now put your feet on the ground, knees bent. And you're going to bring your arms straight out from your shoulders best you can. And you're going to cross your right ankle over your left knee. And then just like that, drop your left knee and that right foot all the way down to your left till the bottom of your right foot hits the ground and the outside of your left leg from your ankle to your knee to your hip is on the ground. You see she's rotated over here. Her palms are up. She's going to look the other way. So you're going to look the opposite way of where you just turned. So your head is going to turn to the right as your body is turned to the left. And you're going to take your right knee with your leg muscles and you're going to push your right knee out away from you. With your leg muscles, not your hand. Exactly. And you're going to breathe. So I want you to inhale, let your stomach rise. Exhale, let it fall. We want this diaphragm kicking in. Inhale, let it rise. Exhale, let it fall. So right now, we're now adding range of motion to the hip joint. And a second, once we freed up this hip and we freed up this ankle, we're going to go after the knee joint as well. So we've got hip joint working. It's working in, we call it abduction and external rotation. All that means is that you're pushing it away from you. And it's asking that leg bone to rotate. It's also asking your spine to rotate. So this is a great exercise, a very gentle rotation and twist for the spine. It's also working on the rotation and imbalance of your hips. So we're going to do both sides. And we always do both sides in these exercises because number one, you're going to notice they're different. And number two, it's important to make sure they get balanced, equal stimulus. So you're going to breathe in, exhale down, relax your shoulders, push that right knee away from you. And if you feel good, if your shoulders are feeling good, roll your palms down. So all 5 fingers are touching the ground. She doesn't have a whole lot of room here, but that's okay. You can see from one hand, her palms are down, her arms are level with her shoulders, and you're relaxing those shoulders with your palms down while pushing that right knee out and breathing. And you should feel a stretch on the outside of your hip joint, a little outside of that right hip, maybe in the glute. You might feel a stretch even in your back or your lat, kind of your side area. Okay, let's switch sides. Go ahead and pick that up. Now put both feet on the ground, knees bent, cross the left ankle over the right knee, and drop it down to your right. So we're going to do the exact opposite of what you just did. So the outside of your right ankle, the outside of your right knee, the outside of your whole right leg is bent and on the ground. You're going to take that left knee and push it away from you. Arms out to the sides, palms up, breathe. Turn your head to your left. Relax your shoulders and keep breathing. You might, again, find that one side is different than the other. That's why we're doing this, actually, because we need to make both sides balanced. And that imbalance that you feel, the difference in tension from right side to left side, or the difference in work, or the difference in stretch that you feel in your body right now, that's due to that imbalance. So everyone's a little imbalanced, but we want to get as balanced and equal and symmetrical as possible because tension on one side that isn't equal with the other side means that entire side is under a different pull and different stress and different strain. And that's not good because that's what often leads to injuries or wear and tear or excessive stress on one joint or set of muscles. And you don't want that because you want to be as balanced as possible. So keep breathing. Excellent. Notice where you feel this. Pay attention to it. That sensation of where you feel the work or the stretch might start to shift and move, and that would be good. That means your body's changing position. And it's okay if it doesn't, though. But It's all good. Whatever you feel, just allow it. Let your body be exactly where it needs to be, wherever that is. It's okay. Breathe through it. Should be comfortable. If anything causes pain, then just come out of it. There's no shame or no problem. If it's not feeling good, skip it and wait for the next exercise, which is coming right now. Okay, pick that up. Okay, great. Now you're going to do something on your hands and knees. In yoga, they call it cat and cow. We also call it cats and dogs. Lots of different names for it, but at the end of the day, you're on your hands and knees. Your hands are underneath your shoulders. Your knees are underneath your hips. And you're going to round your back up using your hips to initiate the motion. So as you round your spine up, your hips are going to tuck under, and then your head goes down and then go the other way. And as you come down, keep your elbows straight and also let your shoulder blades drop together. That drop together, that glide of your shoulder blades is what connects your upper back to your mid and lower back. And that's what we want. We want that connection, right? This is a movement and motion for the whole spine. So here we go. You're going to round up and then round back down. Let it fall, let it sway. Relax your stomach. Back and forth. You don't have to hold either position. You're just going to sway from one to the next. Equal motion, equal movement. Again, initiate the motion with your hips. Just a couple more. If you want to coordinate your breath, you can. You would inhale, exhale here, and you would inhale here. Okay, now this is called a hero's pose. All that it means is you're going to get your knees together, feet together, and I'm going to show you in a second how to do this. If your knees bother you or if they just aren't flexible enough, that's okay. You notice Teresa here is very flexible. She can sit back on her heels. She's going to create a little arch in her lower back by rolling her hips forward and making sure her shoulders stay over your hips. Okay, so your hips and shoulders and ears should be in a perfect straight line. You can see from the side there, she should be loaded perfectly. Her hips, you're going to take the front of your hip bones, roll them forward towards your knees like you're going to create an arch in your lower back. And you're just going to hold that. Relax your shoulders. Now, if this is not comfortable on your knees, let me show you a different way. You're going to take a pillow or a blanket. In this case, we have a yoga block. And you're going to put it underneath your hips, somewhere on your lower shins or above your ankles, anywhere that's comfortable for you. And you want to get those knees together. You want these knees touching, your feet point out behind you so the tops of your feet are on the ground. Relax your stomach. Now this is important. You really want to let your stomach hang. Okay, why? Because we want your hips to go through their full range of motion. We want your spine to respond. And we really want your diaphragm kicking in and helping that breath and inspiration, which expands your lungs, expands your chest cavity, and it also creates tension on your lower back. Believe it or not, this is stabilizing. By breathing like this, you're using your body's internal mechanism to stabilize your spine. Who would have thought? Because all we've heard from forever is tighten your abs to protect your spine. And that does work because what it does is it keeps your spine from moving. But we actually want your spine moving a little more here. So here we go. We're going to relax and breathe. We're just going to hold this for another 5 seconds. You know, maybe 30 seconds is as long as you hold it. This is our Pooch Olive. She's coming to join. Hi, baby. She's going to do her own downward dog, which we're going to do next. Okay. Okay, now you're going to go on your hands and knees, and we are going to do a real downward dog, but I'm going to walk you through this a little differently. This is not the downward dog that you've heard from yoga or you've heard from in other places you've been. So what you're going to do is you're going to start with your hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips, top of your feet on the ground, and you're going to curl your toes under. And now what you're going to do is you're going to pike up like a regular downward dog. But here's what I want you to do. I want you to raise your heels way up off the ground. So your heels are going to come way up. Now, don't drop your heels. Instead, what you're going to do is you're going to pull your chest towards your knees. And then, once your chest is towards your knees, heels way up, then you're going to start to lower your heels down towards the ground. And you'll notice you're going to get a little bit of a stretch in the back of those legs. You're also engaging the shoulder muscles, the shoulder blade muscles, the stabilizers. Your spine is engaged. The whole back side of your body now is talking to itself, right? So all the way from your heels to your calf, to your hamstrings, to your glutes, to your mid-back, your lower back, your upper back, even your fingertips are working. So this is a whole body connection, which is why downward dog is so popular. Now, if you can't get in this flat position with your back, bend your knees. So you're going to bend your knees a little bit, not too much, just as much as you need to, and then roll your hips forward, pull your hips up and back while you pull your chest towards your knees, and then you'll get this position of that flat upper back and that flat spine, which is really what we want. We want this V. So if you need to bend your knees to get more motion out of your shoulders and out of your mid and upper back, absolutely do it, because this is what we want out of this, the engagement of the body as a whole unit. Okay, relax and come down. Excellent. Okay, stand on up now. We're going to put it all together with one exercise. What you're going to do is you're going to touch your toes together, kick your heels apart, push your knees back, interlace your hands together, lock out your arms, and go straight up overhead with those hands. Now, when you do it, I want you to relax your stomach again, because we want your spine engaged. We want your spine involved with this. Pull your hands back, and make sure as you pull your hands back, your hips don't sway forward. This is a great exercise to connect you back from head to toe, right to left, front to back. Yes. And as she pulls her hands back, she's going to make sure the arms are working, but that she doesn't let those hips fall forward. Exactly, that's not what you want. We're not trying to get a massive back arch here. We're actually trying to realign you from ear, shoulder, hip, knee, and ankle, all in vertical line with right to left sides working. The feet are pigeon-toed for a very good reason. This is creating symmetry and telling your body to be equal right to left. 5 more seconds. 5, 3, 2, 1, and relax, and relax. Close, open your eyes, shake it out, and now just see where you feel, see where you're at. Where's your weight distribution right to left? How do you feel? How's your energy? How's your body feeling? You should feel much more energized, number one. Hopefully you feel looser. Hopefully you feel more balanced. Your posture is better. That's a quick routine that's that simple. You could do it every day if you wanted to. It would make a profound difference in how you feel and in the balance of your body. Thanks so much for joining us today. If you want more, come join us at Balance Inside and Out, or come see us at davidstarbucksmith.com. And if you really like this, please subscribe to our channel. And thanks again for coming. We'll see you soon.